Hi everyone. Trust you've been keeping safe this period that we've all been asked to stay home. So today I did not come to you with a word from the Lord. Not that He's not speaking, but that's not the purpose for this video. During this period we have been reflecting. Like there's so much time to think. There's so much time to go back in time, reflect, think about life, think about the future, think about the most important things in our lives. And honestly, so much is happening in my life at the moment, but all glory to God. The reason I came to you um, is that I want this to be the beginning of something I've been wanting to do for quite some time. I've been wanting to come to you with transparency. I've been wanting to come to you uh, openly to share the things that have made me be the person that I am. We we are made by mistakes. We are made by failures. We are made by wrong decisions that we make. Nobody in this life that is anybody because of everything good that they have done. Most of the lessons that we have learned in life have been learned through the many mistakes that we keep doing and the mistakes that we have done. That's where our greatest lessons are. You actually not you don't learn so much by making the right decisions. You learn much by making the wrong ones. When you make wrong decisions over and over again and experience the negative impact you get from wrong decision making, that is when you're really shaped. Yeah, because then you become firm in the decisions that you make, and you're able to look at the outcome even before you make the decision. So it's not really about what am I going to do now, it's about what is the outcome of my decision, what am I going to gain from this. So for me, the reason why I wanted to come to you with this, actually the intent is, I've been wanting to start a show called, I'm not going to say the name, but I've been wanting to start a show, a show on YouTube about just transparently, just coming out with being transparent and being vulnerable about the things that have made us the people we are today. So I'm just going to share briefly an experience I had that has had a negative impact in my life. And as we go along, by the grace of God, I'll be able to open up more about these things, because I think maybe there's somebody else who's going through the same thing and they're wondering how to come out of the experience, how to forgive, how to let go and move on. So when I was a child, when I don't know how old I was, but I'm sure I was very young. I was about 4 or less than 4. I I was sexually molested by uh, our caregiver, or the housekeeping lady, or a housemaid as they used to call them those days, but we call them house managers nowadays. My mom and my dad had separated for they had separated basically. I don't know when it had happened during that time, but I just found myself living with my grandmother and my grandfather. It's myself and my small sister. So I remember this lady who used to take care of us at night. She would wake us up. She would wake us up and she would make us do things to her. Yeah, I remember this because she also used to ask us to go to the kitchen, get a jug full of water so we can make our hands wet, and so that we can wash our hands after the act. So we were very young. I think I was less than 4 years old. My sister was younger than me, but she also used to participate in the same. So what would happen was, my grandparents would be asleep. I cannot remember whether my grandfather was there or not because he died later. So I'm really not sure. I cannot remember the details about my life then. But all I remember is these activities going on. So after everybody had gone to bed, she would wake us up. She would make us go to the kitchen in the dark, and she would make us come back and She would undress, remove all her clothes, and do this. And the first day she showed us how to do it to her, and so every day she would wake us up, and we would do this to her. My younger sister would be my younger sister would be, I don't know whether she knows this, so if she's seeing this video, if you don't know, if you cannot remember this was happening to us, so I'm sorry you're learning this way, you're getting to know about this way, but I think you were young. So my younger sister would be, basically it was, I'm really trying to be careful on the word, the choice of words, but basically I would be, I remember I'm the one who would be shown what to do, and my sister would be shown how to handle her breasts and all that. It was very a very bad thing. Yeah, that it is not, she did not molest us, she did not do anything to us, but she made us do things to her, and we were babies, we were very young. So you can imagine the kind of impact, the kind of impact this left on us, because you see, I cannot remember anything else in that age. I can only remember this, and I have never forgotten. All my life I have never forgotten that this happened to us. And I think this opened up a door for a sex demon to follow me all my life, because it has been a battle. I'll share later of how how I have gotten molested in my life, like now sexually. This was done. Yes, so I'm not sure how much I need to share today, but it's not easy to talk about this, but I have overcome by the grace of God. But it was not easy, because imagine you're doing something in the dark. In the dark, you don't know what you're doing, why you're doing it, but you're just doing it. I was a child, we were small children. I only came to understand what we were doing when I grew up, like when I started knowing about sex, what sex is. But during that time, even in my young, um, when I was 10, 15, I I used to have flashbacks, but I didn't quite understand exactly why she asked us to do that. Yeah, and but later in life, when I got introduced to sex later in life, and um, got exposed also to pornography, that is when I started understanding why she was asking us to do that to her. But really, it was terrible, because it has had great impact in my life. And you know, some of the things we fight in life, some of the demons, some of the struggles we have in life, really were seeds sown in us when we were young. Maybe there were seeds that might have been sown in your life, in our lives, still when we were in our mother's wombs. Maybe they were sown through words. Maybe they were sown through things that were did to us, things attached to our names. Yeah, that is why I really thank God that I met him. Yeah, I've fallen many times, but I'm really glad that I am born again, because if I did not have salvation, really, if I really didn't have Jesus in my life, I honestly don't know how I would have ended up. Maybe I would be dead right now, or maybe I would be somebody so miserable somewhere in life, a drunkard or whatever. But really, that those image, trying to figure out, can you imagine the curiosity uh, that that thing created in me? I'll talk about myself. I'll talk about my sister, because I don't know whether she remembers. I don't think she can remember this. But imagine you're doing something in the dark, you cannot see, but you can hear. Because of course there was a reaction from her. So imagine she's reacting. She's reacting to this. You know, you're a grown up. If you're watching and you're a grown up, you know the kind of reaction she's sending out. You know how she's reacting basically. So we're doing this to her and she's reacting, and it's in the dark. After this, we go wash our hands with soap, still in the dark. In the dark. In the dark, we have to find the bathroom and use the same jug and wash our hands with soap. And it would happen every night. I'm not sure for how long it happened, but what I know is that I remember. I don't know how old I was, but what I know is that the jug was heavy. The jug was very heavy for me. Yeah, the jug, just your regular jug, it was very heavy for me. And so the curiosity this created, because you're doing something in the dark, you cannot see it, you don't know what you're doing, you don't know why you're doing it, you don't understand why you're getting this reaction from doing what you're doing, you don't know whether it is right or wrong, you don't have anybody to tell or ask. So later, after she had left, this was forgotten. I forgot about this. Yeah, I came to remember this, I think, when I started being exposed to sex and pornography. That is when I started remembering. I think I've already said that. So I'm gonna come back to share the kind of impact this had on my life, and why we ought to continually pray for our children. And I'll also share the mistakes that I have made in my life, which have also have had great impact on my children. But what I can say, that this was the foundation of the many things that I have gone through in my life, especially decision making wise, the struggles, because we all have our struggles. We all have the thorn, not just the thorns that sometimes you go through struggles, you overcome, but there is that thorn that you really have to fight, to know how to live with, because you cannot erase it. This is one thing that I have never forgotten, and many other things that I'll come back to share with you that I have never forgotten. And I don't think God would really want me to forget until something good comes out of it. Yeah, until something good comes out of it. Have I forgiven her? Can I remember her? I cannot remember her. Have I forgiven her? I think I have. But right now I'm emotional just thinking about it, so I think there's still some work to be done on me. Yeah, so I think I've finished the purpose of today's video. I will come back. I promise I'll come back and share something else, the kind of impact it has had on me. And it's all about basically it's all about sex and the impact. And as we go along, God will help me to be able to share how I have overcome, and how I have made it this far, and where I'm currently standing, because I am strong and I'm no longer affected by this. But there was a journey. I'm not 20 years old. This happened, imagine how long ago. I was about 4. So I'm not talking about 16 years ago, I'm not talking about 20 years ago, I'm not talking about 25 years ago, I'm talking about more than 30 years ago, because I'm over 35. So you can imagine how many years I've had to battle until now I'm able to come out and talk about it. So I have overcome. I'm at some place, I'm somewhere. Yeah, and I know that this will be able to help you even reflect to things that actually happened to you. Yeah, and it's okay to be vulnerable, it's okay to be honest, it's okay to come out and say, hey, this is what I experienced in my life, and these are my struggles. Yeah, so that we don't feel isolated, so that we don't feel like we're the only people who have gone through what we have gone through. I don't think I'm the only one who went through what I went through, but for me it's personal. Yeah, it is personal for me, because I am the one who went through that. So let me just end it there. God bless you, and I'll see you again. Probably I'll do another video. I don't know whether I'll do the same or I'll do something else, so let's see what happens. So bye and keep safe.